Aries, how many times in your life have you sat quietly in a dark room, listening to the quick beat of your own heart and wondering, is the person beside me truly the one God has sent? Through the trials of your journey, you've walked through fleeting romances, rushed connections, and wounds that felt like they would never heal. Your Aries heart still burns, still explodes with passion, but there are moments when it feels weary, like a restless wave that keeps crashing against the shore, never finding a safe harbor. And yet, when God places his hand on your love story, everything changes. No longer is it a game of emotions, no longer the empty illusion of broken promises. It becomes a wholly unveiling, gentle, yet powerful, impossible to mistake. Like a beam of light piercing through thick fog, illuminating a path you once stumbled through in the dark. The right person doesn't arrive to fill a temporary loneliness. They come as the missing piece that has been waiting for you all along. They remind you that love is not just about satisfying fleeting desires. It is about guiding you back to the wholeness God intended for you. With them, you no longer need to force yourself to be loved. No longer need to wear the mask of strength to hide your softness within. Aries, you are known as a warrior, a pioneer, unafraid of challenges. But beneath that armor, you are still a soul longing for peace, for comfort, for love that asks for nothing in return. God knows this well, and when he sends the right person, you will recognize it instantly. Not with logic, not with calculations, but with a deep, unshakable peace. A feeling as if you finally found the true home of your heart. Take this as a lesson. Life may lead you through endless turns, but God's mark is unmistakable. The right person will not scatter your spirit, will not pull you away from your faith, will not make you question your worth. They will enter your life as a heavenly confirmation, whispering, "This is the one I have chosen for you." And in that moment, your Aries heart will understand. True love is not about perfection, but about companionship, understanding, and the sacred bond you both share. If you're listening right now and feel these words echo in your own story, write 1111 in the comments as your sacred confirmation. Because sometimes, even the smallest act can open the greatest door of blessings and divine alignment. And as you sit in silence, you will realize that peace is not just a passing state, it is God's whisper to you, carried through the presence of that person. A peace so full, you could sit in the quiet for hours and still feel complete. A peace that tells you no storm outside has the power to shake your heart anymore. From here, the story begins to open into a deeper layer. For when peace has been planted within you, God always leaves another gift, another sign that lights the path of Aries on this sacred journey of love. Peace is a rare gift. Not every relationship can bring it. And for Aries, someone who lives with such intensity, always ready to dive into new experiences, peace can sometimes feel like a luxury. You've grown used to emotional storms, to long nights of endless thoughts, to tears falling after arguments that seem to have no end. But when the right person appears, all that chaos begins to quiet, like a once restless lake suddenly becoming still, reflecting the light of dawn. That person doesn't make you chase after them, doesn't leave you anxious or unsettled. They don't play emotional games or force you into days of guessing. Instead, they come and sit beside you in silence, and that silence is full, like a wordless melody touching the soul. With them, you no longer feel empty or afraid of being left behind. Your heart feels held, anchored by a strength you cannot explain with reason. Aries, you are often the fire that burns bright, the one who leads, the one who dares to face whatever comes. But deep inside, you know you long for a safe harbor, a place where you don't have to wear armor, don't have to prove yourself, don't have to fight. The right person shows you that love is not the raging wave, but the gentle stream, flowing steadily, quietly, and soaking into every part of you. The miracle of this peace is that it does not depend on whether life is perfect outside. Work may still be stressful, challenges may still arise, the world may still be loud. But with them, it feels like you've stepped into another space where your mind calms down, where you can breathe deeply and feel alive again. This peace is God's whisper, as if he is saying, "You are on the right path." And then you realize love is not just about holding hands when everything is easy. It is about holding each other steady when storms come. This peace is not to help you avoid challenges, but to give you the strength to face them. The right person doesn't promise you will never hurt again, but they make sure you never have to walk through pain alone. If you've ever been in a relationship where peace mattered more than passion, then you know how priceless that kind of stillness is. It is the root, the foundation, the very breath that nourishes real love. Because passion may come and go, but peace remains. It is what ties you and the one you love with a bond that cannot be broken. Aries, remember this: peace is not the absence of noise, but the presence of stillness within. When you are with the right person, you don't just feel safe, you feel healed. And in that moment, you know you have stepped into a sacred love, a love God prepared for you long ago. If you feel this truth echoing in your own heart, I want to invite you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, have you ever been in a relationship where peace mattered more than passion? Share that story, because your words may become the light someone else is searching for. And then, when peace has been planted like the first seed, you will find that God sends another gift along with it. A gift that not only makes your love endure, but also leads your soul closer to His light, opening the door to an even deeper journey ahead. They often say love is beautiful when two people look in the same direction. But for those who believe in God's guidance, true love is not only about looking forward, it is about looking upward together. Aries, you are a creature of action, of fire, of bold decisions. You run into life with tireless feet, with a heart that always wants to conquer. And yet deep inside, you know, without faith to guide you, all that running can feel like a race with no destination. The right person, when they arrive, doesn't just bring you peace, they gently lift you closer to the light of God. They don't pull you away from your faith. They don't try to fill your emptiness with shallow distractions. Instead, they remind you that true strength always comes in the moments when you bow your head in prayer. It may be a morning where you read a passage of scripture together, or a long night when their hand takes yours and they whisper softly, "Let's pray together." Those small moments, they become the foundation of a love that cannot be shaken. Aries, you've known relationships where passion burned bright only for a moment, then vanished, leaving a long darkness behind. But with the one God has sent, the fire in your heart no longer burns with restlessness, it becomes a guiding light. They never compete with God for your love because they know placing Him at the center is what makes love endure. This is a lesson many spend a lifetime searching for. Sacred love is the kind that helps you grow in spirit and in soul. The right person doesn't just love your smile, your strength, or your success. They love you for everything God has placed within you. They encourage you to hold on to faith when life feels heavy. And in your weakest moments, when you want to let go, they are the voice reminding you that God is still walking with you, that no prayer ever falls into emptiness. Something miraculous happens when you are with the right one. Instead of pulling you away, they draw you back to the altar, back to prayer, back to the connection you may have lost in the rush of daily life. And there, you find strength again, you find peace again. This is the kind of love God desires for you, a love that warms the heart and nourishes the soul. If you've ever had someone who helped you trust God more deeply, share your story. Because sometimes, a single honest testimony can become the bridge for someone else still searching for light. Your story may be the inspiration they need. And then you will come to see a simple but profound truth. The love God gives always leads us back to His own light. When you find a person like this, you know, this is not just a relationship, it is a sacred partnership. It is the threefold cord that cannot be broken. And from that place of peace and faith, another door quietly opens. Because for this journey to truly endure, God has placed within it something essential, a silent yet unshakable foundation, one that defines how you and your beloved will honor each other. Respect is a quiet language, but it echoes deeper than any promise could. For Aries, with your strength and your pride, what you long for most is to be seen for who you truly are. You can handle storms, you can walk through conflict, But what you cannot bear for long is the feeling of being diminished, dismissed, or controlled. The right person, when they arrive, will not only see you with their eyes, they will see you with their heart. They don't just view you as a partner or a role you play in life, but as a soul, unique, sacred, worthy. In their gaze, you are not a warrior always bracing for battle. You are whole, both strong and tender, both brave and in need of shelter. And it is that understanding that creates a space where you can be real, no masks, no roles, no hiding. In the wrong relationships, respect often rises and falls with moods. One day you are cherished, the next you are left behind. Sweet words may come in one moment, followed by actions that make you feel small and unseen. But when God sends the right one, respect is no longer something you fight for. It becomes as natural as breathing. They listen not to reply, but to understand. They respect you not only when you agree, but even when you disagree. And most of all, they protect your dignity, even when you're not in the room. Aries, you are strong, but that does not mean you don't need gentleness. You are courageous, but you also deserve to be cared for. The right one will show you that respect is never conditional, never a reward in exchange for submission. It is the foundation. It is the soil where love takes root, where trust grows, where loyalty deepens. Think back for a moment. Have you ever felt that difference? On one side, a relationship where you measured every word, walked on eggshells, afraid of being belittled. And on the other side, a relationship where you felt seen, heard, valued, where even your smallest thoughts mattered. That difference is the line between fragile love and lasting love. And beyond romance, respect is a human value that our world desperately needs. It begins in families, extends to communities, and becomes the bridge that holds people together. Respect reminds us that every soul carries a story, a wound, a journey of its own. And in love, respect does more than keep you together. It helps both of you grow in character and in spirit. Aries, when you find someone who respects you in all circumstances, that is when you know God is present in your love. That kind of love doesn't make you smaller, it makes you greater than yourself. It doesn't make you question your worth, it makes you proud of your journey. Have you ever experienced the difference between a relationship built on respect and one without it? Share your story, because your honest words may be the light for someone still searching for their answer. And when respect has become a solid foundation, you will realize something even more profound. A God-blessed love doesn't stop at respect. It opens a brighter path, one without confusion, without shadows, a path where love walks hand in hand with clarity, like the morning light breaking through the dark. Clarity is a light, a lamp that guides the heart through journeys filled with crossroads. Aries, you are the sign of directness. You don't hide your emotions well, and you never enjoy half-hearted games. For you, love is love and no is no. That's why one of the surest signs of the person God sends is unmistakable clarity. Have you ever been in a relationship where every day felt like being lost in a maze? They said one thing, but did another. You were left guessing, wondering if their words were real or just for the moment. Were they here to walk a long road with you, or simply chasing temporary pleasure? And slowly, your heart grew weary of the uncertainty. Like a boat adrift in the middle of the ocean, never sure where the shore might be. Relationships like that don't just wound you, they drain your faith in love itself. But the right person is different. They don't come with flowery words, they come with consistency between word and action. They don't force you to decode hidden signals, they don't keep you living in doubt. Instead, you see in them a love with intention, a steady presence. They don't make you chase after them, and they don't leave you waiting in silence. Their clarity is like the sunrise after a long night, not blinding, not loud, but steady, undeniable, and full of hope. Aries, clarity is not just about knowing whether someone loves you. It's about how they show you your place in their heart. It's the way they reach for your hand in a crowd. It's the message they send in the middle of a busy day. It's the way they make plans for the future and place you inside those plans. Clarity is the medicine that heals souls wounded by uncertainty. And more than that, it is the mark of a love that comes from God, because He does not sow confusion. He sows peace and transparency. The lesson we can carry from this is profound. True love never leaves you questioning your place. It never makes you wake each day wondering if you matter, or if you could be replaced. Instead, it gives you the assurance that you are walking a clear path together, both moving forward in the same direction. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, have you ever been lost in a relationship clouded with uncertainty? What mark did that experience leave on your heart? Share your story, because your truth may help someone else realize they deserve a love that is clear and certain, not a love that hides in the shadows. And when clarity has finally arrived, something even more miraculous begins to unfold. Because the love God sends is not only transparent in feelings, it walks in mission as well. When two souls know they belong to each other, they also begin to see a greater connection where their visions don't just run parallel but flow together into one shared river, moving toward a higher purpose. Aries, you were born with the fire of a pioneer. In your blood lies the hunger to conquer, to lead, to open new paths. For you, life is never just about survival, it is a journey to search for meaning. But ask yourself this: what happens when that fire, instead of burning alone, meets another flame? When that moment comes, it is no longer just light, it becomes a lighthouse strong enough to guide many other souls. The right person will never hold you back. They won't pull you down, they won't force you to walk a road that opposes your calling. Instead, they will stand beside you, strengthen you, and give your dreams more power. When two visions meet, you realize it isn't an accident. It is God's deliberate design. A blessed relationship is not contained in words of affection alone. It reveals itself in the way two hearts move toward a shared purpose. Your dream may be to build a warm home, while theirs may be to serve the community. And when woven together, those seemingly different visions form a complete picture where love and mission no longer lie apart. Imagine walking down a long road. If you walk alone, your steps may be fast, but they grow weary. Now imagine someone walking beside you, someone who reminds you to keep going when you feel like giving up, someone who points out the beauty along the way that you would have missed on your own. That journey becomes not only easier, but infinitely more meaningful. That is the gift of shared vision and purpose. The deeper lesson is this: sacred love is not only to be enjoyed, it is to be lived in service. When two people ask, what can our love bring to this world? The relationship rises above the limits of ego and becomes a journey of human value. Aries, you are strong and sometimes stubborn. But in the right relationship, you will learn that true strength is not running alone toward the finish line, but slowing down to walk with another, to move together in rhythm with a greater song. And when you support each other's dreams, what you have is not just love, but a journey, a path carrying meaning far beyond yourselves. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what dream do you hope your partner will walk with you? To build a peaceful family, to serve the community, or simply to create memories that time can never erase? Write it down, share it, because your words may awaken a dream long asleep in someone else's heart. And then, when two visions have merged into one, the path of love will not always be roses. Storms will come, winds will rise, but it is in those very trials that you will discover another sacred quality of the right one: the power of forgiveness and grace, the gift that keeps love from breaking in the storm and makes it even stronger. Forgiveness is one of the most sacred gifts we can give each other. It isn't forgetting, and it isn't blind acceptance of every mistake. It is a choice, the choice to hold on to love instead of pride, the choice to open the door for healing instead of letting the heart rot away in bitterness. Aries, you were born with fire, with impulsiveness, quick temper, and a strong sense of pride. That is why forgiveness is one of the greatest challenges for you, but also one of the most beautiful lessons God wants to teach you through love. In any relationship, there will be clashes, harsh words spoken too quickly, unintentional wounds, or even distance that breeds doubt. With the wrong person, those small cuts accumulate into deep scars, reasons to walk away, excuses to give up. But with the one God has sent, every conflict becomes a chance to know each other more deeply, to practice patience, to let the heart bow in humility and open wider. Forgiveness in sacred love is like a clear stream flowing through sharp rocks. It softens the rough edges, wears down the stubbornness, and leaves behind the gentleness that sustains love for the long road ahead. And grace covers the entire journey. Because the right person does not carry grudges, they don't turn mistakes into weapons. They look at you with eyes of compassion. They see your weakness not as something to judge, but as something to hold and lift. Aries, remember this: forgiveness doesn't erase what has happened, but it opens a new path where love can keep growing. If after an argument, you and your partner don't grow distant but instead feel closer, more connected, that is the sign of God's hand at work. Only love built on a holy foundation can turn conflict into opportunity for growth. And this truth is mirrored in life all around us. No community, no family can survive without forgiveness. Forgiveness is the bridge between souls, reminding us that all of us are imperfect, but love and empathy can turn imperfection into a chance for unity. And in romantic love, that truth shines even brighter. So ask yourself, have you ever learned a deep lesson of forgiveness from love? Have you ever laid down your pride so that love could be greater than ego? Share your story, because your experience might be the inspiration someone else needs, someone still standing at the edge of a wound and a choice. And then, when you have lived through enough trials to truly understand the power of forgiveness and grace, you will see the deepest truth: that the foundation of sacred love is not only peace, not only companionship, not only forgiveness. At its very core, sacred love reflects something greater. It reflects the unconditional love of God Himself. True love never stops at sweet whispers. It is proven in the way someone waits patiently when you fall behind, in the kindness they show you on the days you no longer have the strength to smile, and in the quiet sacrifices they make when they place your needs above their own without expecting anything in return. Aries, you are a powerful flame. You love with all your heart, you live with all your might. But even you sometimes need a love that knows how to soothe your fire. The right person will not try to put you out, they will become the fresh air that keeps your flame burning bright, without fading away. There are worldly loves that seek to possess, to hold you tightly for the sake of ego, but the love that comes from God is different. The right person loves you not to control, but to set you free. They see your true worth, they encourage you to go farther, to rise higher, and they rejoice when your light shines wide, because they know that light is also the light of God. That kind of love never reduces you to a possession, it lifts you into a partner, an equal, a companion on the journey. Aries, remember this: love is not just a fleeting emotion. It is action, repeated again and again. It is the way they truly listen when you tell them about your day, even when the story seems small. It is the gentle way they hold your hand when you feel weak instead of blaming you for your fragility. It is in those simple things that God's love is reflected, a love that is patient, kind, and full of compassion. And when you are loved in this way, you will know God is present in your relationship. Because human love changes easily, but love that reflects God is steady, unconditional. It loves you not only when you succeed, but also when you stumble. It does not just walk with you when the sun is shining, it stays when the storm begins to rage. And when you are loved like this, your heart finds safety, a peace the world rarely offers. Here is the great lesson: true love does not promise grand things. It fulfills one thing, every day, to make their presence a living reminder that you are cherished. In that kind of love, you no longer doubt your worth. Their patience and their kindness whisper to you every day you are worthy of the most beautiful things. Aries, have you ever felt this kind of unconditional love? A love that asks nothing of you, but simply shows up to lift you higher. Share that moment, because your story may be the healing light for someone out there, still longing to find truth in love. And when you realize this love is not just between two people, but a mirror of God's eternal love, you begin to notice meaningful coincidences, subtle signs, quiet answers that appear in your prayers. Because sometimes, God confirms His hand in your love with signs far too precise to ignore. Divine confirmation does not always arrive with thunder rolling across the sky or with some grand miracle. Often, it comes quietly like a soft breeze brushing your soul, like a ray of sunlight breaking through heavy clouds, suddenly illuminating what you could not see before. Aries, you are someone who believes in action, in clarity. But when it comes to a love that God Himself has written, there are times you must learn to listen with your heart more than with your mind. The right person will not only bring you peace by their presence. Their place in your life will be confirmed through your very prayers. Sometimes you kneel in silence, lifting your doubts up to heaven, and a verse of scripture appears at just the right moment, whispering, "You are on the right path." Sometimes you wrestle with questions about love, and a friend or even a stranger suddenly speaks words that feel like a message sent from God. At times, the smallest coincidence is enough to become an answer from above. A song plays at the exact moment you think of them. A message flashes before your eyes on the street. Or perhaps it is nothing more than a deep and unexplainable peace settling in your heart after prayer. A peace that reason cannot explain but heaven affirms. This is how God shows you that this love was not arranged by human hands but guided by His. Aries, you like to move fast. You want to decide quickly. But sacred love teaches you patience. It teaches you to trust that the universe always sends its signs at the perfect time. When you pray and your heart feels lighter, when peace replaces doubt, that is God's confirmation. Peace is heaven's loudest voice, and it never misleads you. Think back, have you ever received a sign from God in love? Maybe it was a simple word of advice, a glance that left you still, or a moment when you just knew with certainty that you were being guided. Share that story, because your experience may be the very answer someone else has been waiting for. And when those signs appear, when your prayers are answered not with fear, but with calm, you will understand this is how God reassures His children, that you are not walking alone, that your love is being lit from above. And from that confirmation, the final door begins to open. Not a door of coincidence, not of reason, but of the deepest place within the soul. A feeling that tells you beyond all doubt, this person is not only your partner in life, but your home. There is a feeling that words can never fully capture, but your heart will recognize it the moment it arrives. It is when someone walks into your life, and you no longer feel the need to be perfect. You don't have to hide your tenderness. You don't have to cover the scars of the past. You don't have to prove your worth by carrying the weight of the world. You simply are, and in their eyes, that is enough. Aries, out there you are strong, the flame that never stops burning, the warrior who never tires. But deep within, you too long for a place to rest, a place where you can exhale, a place where arms embrace you whether you shine bright or collapse in exhaustion. The right person, the one God sends, will bring you that feeling, the feeling of coming home, a place with no judgment, no pressure to always be strong, a place where you are accepted in victory and in failure, in the moments you inspire the world and in the moments you sit quietly in the dark. There, you never fear losing yourself, because their love doesn't shrink you. It invites you to live as your truest self. Remember this, real love is not always fireworks that light up the sky, but it is safety, like the warmth of a home, like the golden lamp waiting at the porch when you return after a long day. And if you feel seen in both your strength and your weakness, that is God's gentle whisper. This is the one I have chosen for you. In that moment, you know. You no longer need to wander, for your heart has found where it belongs. Aries, have you ever met someone who made you feel like home? If you have, share that story. Because when you speak it out loud, you are not only remembering, you are planting hope in the hearts of those still longing for a healing love. Thank you for listening, and for allowing your heart to walk with these words. May the love you find always bring you peace, healing, and remain forever a sacred gift from God.